Good
Oh, there we
morning,
go.
everybody. Yep, we are live, Matthew. I know for a minute there you weren't sure it was going to happen, but apparently it is going to happen. So it has
It
happened.
did.
We are live.
It happened.
It is Monday.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes. It's Monday.
we're still brutally cold here in North Carolina. I don't know what you're doing over there in Kansas, but we were like 12 degrees. When I left the house. It's like, oh,
So today yesterday was 60 degrees.
oh
Today it's
oh
supposed to be
my,
70 degrees. And then
oh
tomorrow
wow.
it's supposed to go back down to 50. So hopefully maybe the warm will go your direction
Yeah,
and you
well, we're
guys will be.
supposed to we're supposed to get a day. It's weird though because they're saying no, most of Tuesday will be really cold, but then suddenly it changes, and then unfortunately it's going to flip back by the weekend. So we're going to get a little bit, and then we're going to go right back into like really cold apparently again. But not weather, which is a plus. I'm hoping it's long enough to actually defreeze, you know, get rid of all the ice that we have on the roadway from our house to the road. Like it's all gravel and it's shaded and it's like a sheet of ice. So whether you're walking the dogs or whether you're driving the car, you just have to really go straight. Don't pause, don't put on the brakes because it's just nothing but ice still,
You got
and
to
it's
wear
this thick.
those.
I mean, so it's not like tiny bit of ice. It's like really solid.
What are those? You got to wear those shoe covers that have
Crampons.
the little
Yeah, Dick got
crampons.
some new
Yes.
ones to play with. So
Yeah.
we're dealing with and I think I have a bit of this. I think I have the term that they used on this. There was an NPR program, People's Pharmacy, and I'm a listener, and they were talking about seasonal affective disorder, and they said for some people it's episodic, like every year you don't get it the same. So some years you may just feel blue, like where you're sort of like down, but it's not dramatic. And then other years you truly have seasonal affective disorder. And then some of us just have this winter blues, but it's not so bad. For me, which is interesting, it's supposed to start in the fall with this feeling of being unsettled. And it's an interesting depression in that it's not a sad, immobile depression. It actually has aspects that are interesting in that it's more like entering hibernation than it is a true depression. So you want to hole up, you want to get in your space and not go out. You want to eat, and you want to eat carbs. You want to eat a bunch of carbs, and you want to stay in there, and it's episodic. You want to do it over and over. You tend to be in a like foggy state a lot of the time, not really asleep but not really awake. You're looking for something, you can't figure out what it is, so you tend to be a little more growly or grouchy or unsettled. It's hard to focus on stuff, so it feels like a brain fog. It sort of saps you so that you can't initiate. You're having a really hard time. You mean to, you want to, but you just don't follow through on initiate. You're also having trouble staying focused on projects and moving those forward. And you can't seem to get anything done. You can't finish anything so you can move on. So now I'm curious, Matthew, have you ever experienced anything like that? And it gets worse as further we go into the winter. And it turns out there's a higher percent of this the further you get from the equator. So the further to the poles you are, the more people experience this. More
Yeah.
people experience this, I guess.
It's starting to make me think, Teepa, that the Bears have it right. Like I think we're supposed to go hibernate right now. Yes, I have experienced this, and it would be better like if I could just go sleep for a long while, like go eat a bunch, go, do what they do before and then just go
Put
sleep
on
through
weight, yeah.
it.
Not exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy is the guy that the person they were interviewing is the gentleman who first coined the phrase and started developing a strategy for coping. And he was the guy that came up with a light therapy, which in multiple studies in multiple ways, it's been found to help alleviate this phenomena. Not eliminate, but alleviate. So, Matthew, what's the difference between eliminate and alleviate?
Well, eliminate is totally getting rid of it.
Yeah.
alleviate is to lessen whatever the
Lessen the
symptoms or the,
impact.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you start to notice that you have this rhythmic pattern, so it comes on and sometimes around October, usually for most folks. And then through the winter, it's bad. And then about March, it starts really lightening up again when you see the budding and the growing and the little things. So it's that period of time that most people feel something. Not most, that's not true. 5% of the population. More if you're up toward the further north, the further deep in the Antarctic area, wherever it is, tipped away from the sun. So you get less sun exposure. There's always the risk that somebody has this, even if there is sun exposure, but it's less, like it alleviates. Yeah.
So speaking of that, Teepa, I wonder if the whole red light
Uh-huh.
phenomenon and all of that, like why that's such a big trend. That's a thing where, so like during this time,
Yeah.
getting those red lights or the suntan UV lights or whatever, getting some sort of like,
Light source.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. If that's something, because you hear people buying those, trying those, and you see them all over the place. There are those
Oh, yeah.
face masks that you can put on, or you can go in and even like fancier saunas or whatever. They have like a whole room or something where you
Whole
they're,
rooms.
yeah.
Yeah. And so they have done the studies on the light. Now, the red light is a relative newcomer. So there's less data on it, but there is data on lumens and type of light and exposure. And so, what the recommendations, although are not just about the light, which is interesting because they have found other things can make a difference too. So when we're talking about dementia and this phenomena, I'm going to put this into two categories: those who are supporting someone and those who are living with dementia. And these two phenomena, if both folks are experiencing some of this could make people really have trouble with one another, particularly for certain dementias, which Lewy body or vascular dementia is going to be like, ooh, yuck. But we could also look at other dementias as I'm having trouble keeping up with time. I'm having trouble keeping up with where I am and what's going on already. And then let's add on top, it's dark, it's dingy, I can't see as well. But if I'm in too much bright light, I get overwhelmed. So trying to find a balancing point that works for folks and realizing my balancing point and your balancing point might be two different balancing points, which is, as we say, it's always good to have a third party. It's always good to have a partner who has less of one of these, but not extreme. I mean, I don't want somebody who's Mary Sunshine when I'm gloomy doomy, but somebody who can see over the edge of that ick, to help out a little bit. So they came up with a list of what we should, could, might have done, but you know how we fit about the coulda, shoulda, woulda.
So
But they did come up with some key things you could think about taking on. So I'm going to go ahead and give them to you so you sort of know. First is light boxes. Really think about getting a light box. And if you want more detail, go look at the segment or look up, we can send you some information. But the second is, do you have a room in the house that is bright and inviting and warm and has great colors and has decent lighting, and it's not viewing the yucky, but if it is a yucky day out, maybe you close the day. If it is a nice day out, you enjoy it from the window. Um, the third, which is an interesting one, have you made plans for at least one winter vacation in the sun? So Matthew, think if you were going to go somewhere in the winter, where would you opt to go? Where would it be for you?
well, I'd go hang out with my buddy Emilio down in Florida.
Oh, down in Florida.
Yeah, maybe I'd go down
Okay.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And because there's so many people down there, and because I know it's the season, sort of like Arizona, you couldn't get me to go to those places because they're going to be packed with people, which, for me, thinking about a winter vacation in the sun is enough. I really don't know that I want to go on one. I may want to think about going on one and look up options, but that may be what would be interesting for me because I'd be afraid that I'd be disappointed in the vacation and come back more frustrated than when I left. which this is that difference between a partner and the person living with.
Oh,
Because here's the thing, I'm enough of a risk taker. Guess what I've done historically, and not even for vacations, but I've spoken all over the place. And so in the wintertime, there was no difference in the wintertime and summertime. If somebody wanted a conference, particularly where there's a lot of people there, I'd be there doing the conference. So I've gotten to experience a lot of different climates, summer, winter, etc.
mhm.
And they're all fascinating. They really are. I really enjoy almost all places I go for one reason or the other. Um, and then the interesting part is when I went back to Pittsburgh in the winter, I was so horribly like, oh, the snow is so dirty. It's so depressing, which is a very interesting phenomenon because I have a long term memory of, of the Pittsburgh area, Bethel Park area, my grow up space, as this really cool place, and the winter is great, and then it lasts a long time. And it's just yucky for part of the year. And sure enough, when I'd go back, even if we were not, it wasn't exactly like that, my brain would take me to that space.
I
And I
love it.
didn't experience it with other places. It was interesting to me that my personal history had that ability.
Yeah. Moment to moment, depending on the situation and what you see and what comes up, I can see how it would make a difference. And I really love how you're bringing in this aspect, Teepa, too, recognizing this is a lot of times it's a duo, and it's really
Yeah.
figuring out what's mutually beneficial. Because
Right.
I,
What could be fun for us? What
yeah,
would be okay for us? We had somebody at the conference we did recently, and their comment, I mean, it was really an interesting thing, was they keep wanting to go on a cruise, and we're not going on a cruise. And it's like, huh, all right, well, you want to go on a cruise? Well, you talking Disney cruise or something else? And the idea of letting go of this idea, the reality is we're not going on the cruise, and let's let this sort of play out a little bit. Let's see where it could go. Let's see what we can pull up. I wonder if the person who asked the question has a little bit of SAD, sad. And this is making it super hard for them to see the possibilities or the potential for working with their mate, their partner, in this area where for them it's like, ugh. And for the partners, like, I want to go for a vacation, I want to go somewhere. And it's like, there's a way to do that without going anywhere for a while, at least, and see what happens. But I think it's a tricky thing.
yeah,
So
okay.
it's just a thought. So I wanted to go though. They had some more suggestions. One is to let your doctor know that you're experiencing some of this, so that we sort out, is this a pattern? Is this the rhythm? Is this just because we may not want to be doing a lot of adjusting of your meds as much as we want to look at other options? The next is to let family and friends know that I might could use some extra support for this, but to do it in a way that works for both of us. And here's the next one: physical activity. Because it turns out that if we can get physically active, it shifts things, because that chemistry of our bodies and our brains when we exercise can make a difference. And looking at it as a challenge rather than, I'm going to hibernate. Instead, I'm gonna spend time out, and then I'm gonna get to come back. I'm gonna get to go out, and then I'm gonna get to come back. And can we see that possibility for ourselves or for someone else? And again, figuring out if we need a third party, because it's too hard for just the two of us to try to deal with this in out phenomenon, which is often a big deal. Last week, I also did a session on agoraphobia, like fear of leaving your home or going into an open space or going into a crowded, peoply space if you've been in the home a good bit. And I think many people have really acknowledged after COVID, boy, yeah, it's much worse than it used to be getting back into the scene of connecting. So, anyway, this morning we just wanted to, as we have more cold weather, beautiful sunshine outside, I must say. But then you step outside and you go, ooh, 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 very cold, very cold. So you only want to stay out a short window of time. Multiple episodes, though, may go out multiple times. That'll be my deal today. Because you know me, I'm like, you're not going to win. I'm going to figure this out. because to not figure it out isn't helpful. So I've got to stay curious. What helps? Matthew, your thoughts before we take off here? Uh-oh. There we go. He's back.
Yeah, no, great things to be aware of. And I did put that list into the chat, so as well as the link to the article in People's Pharmacy. So check it out and let us know if you have questions, if you have other thoughts about this to help expand on it, the conversation.
Yeah.
Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. But thank you, Teepa. Really appreciate you bringing these pieces in, because I mean, who would have thought, right? Who would have even considered this potentially?
Well, people talk
Depending
about
on the
depression,
season
but
of
they
those
tend to
pieces.
think about meds and not seasons. And if it's a seasonal thing, it's an environmental thing. So we need to modify our environment, our activity within the environment as a first line of defense, as a first line of action. And I think all too often we're looking around for what can I take versus what can I do. And so looking at what can I do and what can I not do, that might be helpful. So that's where we start. All right, everybody. Till next time, if you have a question, a thought, a situation that you want us to investigate, let us know. And till next time, take care of yourself and take care with your care. Bye, everybody.